El Kakui, Tony Ferguson, shocks the world. TKO Salt Poppy, and is your new Misfits Boxing Interim Middleweight Champion. Wow! El Kakui, Tony Ferguson, gets his first win in 6+ years. Unbelievable. Last weekend, Misfits 22 boxing event, X Series, put on a show. Darren Till versus Luke Rockhold, main event. Wow, what a banger that was. Darren Till, Luke Rockhold, had an incredible lead up to the fight. Backstage fights, brawls, this and that, and then the fight happened. Unbelievable. I believe it was round 1 or 2. Luke Rockhold got knocked out cold. He was laying, passed out. It was a 3-piece, 4-piece combo from Darren Till. I believe it was round 3. Luke Rockhold takes the nasty KO from Darren, the Gorilla Till. And in the co-main event, Tony Ferguson versus Salt Poppy finished him in the ropes. Tony just punching him. The referee stopped it. Everybody said, oh, it's an early stoppage. Maybe Tony was just too much for Salt Poppy. And new El Kakui, Tony Ferguson. The MMA world, the UFC world is excited today because Tony Ferguson is back. Tony Ferguson has a title. He's wearing a title. He after his win, he got on his knees and he prayed. He was so happy, and I'm happy for him. Once again, Darren Till KOs Luke Rockhold. El Kakui, Tony Ferguson, puts an end to Salt Poppy and is your new champion. And don't forget, Dylan Danis was on the card too. Dylan Danis won via submission in 15 seconds. And he's your new Misfits MMA middleweight champion. Dylan Danis is calling out Jack Della Maddalena, Michael Venom Page, everybody. Dylan Danis is back too, it looks like. He had some good interviews afterwards. Had Eddie Hall in the ring, wants to fight 300 and something pound Eddie Hall. Wow. On a non-UFC weekend, this weekend delivered. We also had Dirty Boxing on Friday night. It was a pretty decent card. And then Saturday we had CGI 2, day 1. And then yesterday we had CGI day 2. So let's get into CGI day 2. Yesterday, Chael Sonnen filled in for Gable Stevenson that backed out last minute. And Chael Sonnen got submitted twice. I believe they were both by buggy choke. Unbelievable. Chael Sonnen looked great in there. It looked great. CGI 2 delivered as well. We had a really good weekend with UFC not around. We had some boxing. We had some MMA. We had some jiu-jitsu grappling. Not a bad weekend. Let's get into some UFC Paris because it is UFC Paris Fight Week. And you know what that means. We're going to talk about the main card. That's what we'll talk about, the main card today. We got Patricio Pitbull returns against Losen Kieta. I'm going to take Pitbull in this one. Faraz Ziam versus Kyle Fernandez. I'm going to take Faraz Ziam. And then we got Modestas Bukakas versus Paul Craig. I'm going to go with my man Paul Craig. This is going to be a good one, though. I don't know. Scotland versus Lithuania. Lightweight bout next up. Bolaji Oki versus Mason Jones. Tough one. I'm gonna leave this one alone. You know what? I'm gonna go with Mason Jones. All right. And then we got the co-main event: Benoit Saint Denis versus Mauricio Ruffy of the Fighting Nerds. This one right here, guys. This one right here. I'm gonna go with Mauricio Ruffy. Brazil. Main event. Number 2, Nazardine Imavov versus number 7, Kai Barajo. I'm going to go with Kai Barajo. I'm going to go with a Fighting Nerd sweep of the co-main and main event of UFC Paris. That's my picks. The last thing I want to talk about is Johnny Bones Jones. Johnny Bones Jones was stopped while in Miami at the DBX Dirty Boxing show over the weekend. And he was asked, are you getting ready to fight on the UFC card? And he says, that's the plan. He didn't seem too confident, but he said that was the plan. So John Jones is still wanting to fight on the UFC White House card. All right, fight fans, that's it. It's Monday. We'll see you Tuesday. Have a great